Stop right there. Before you nod, before you agree, before you tell yourself, I already know this, understand something. Your life isn't stuck because you're missing information. It's stuck because you keep protecting a version of yourself that isn't built to win. You want confidence, but you keep rehearsing comfort. You want momentum, but you keep choosing relief. You want the moment to change you, but you refuse to change before the moment arrives. And here's the truth. Most people never confront. Pressure doesn't upgrade character. It audits it. When things get real, you don't become who you hope you are. You become who you trained yourself to be when it was inconvenient. Right now, you're negotiating with standards you should have locked in years ago. You're waiting for urgency to save you instead of installing discipline to lead you. This isn't about motivation. This is about identity. And once you see that once, you feel that you won't be able to unsee it. Listen to me, opportunity is not coming to your door with a calendar, asking if you are ready, giving you a heads up, sending you a text message 3 weeks in advance so you can prepare. Opportunity is coming to expose you, and when it shows up, it is going to reveal exactly who you've been when nobody was watching. And I need you to understand something right now. You think you know why you keep missing your moment. You think it is about timing or luck or not having the right connections, but you don't know the real reason yet. Not yet. And by the time I am done with this, you are going to see yourself in a way that is uncomfortable. But it is the only way you are ever going to change. You ready? Let's go. I remember one time years ago, I got a phone call out of nowhere. Somebody wanted me to speak at an event. Big stage, big crowd, the kind of opportunity I've been praying for, begging for, visualizing in my head every single night before I went to sleep. And when that phone call came, when they said, Eric, we need you next week, my chest got tight. My palms started sweating. And it wasn't excitement. It was fear. It was panic, because I knew deep down in my soul that I wasn't ready. Not because I didn't have the talent, not because I didn't have the passion, but because I hadn't been putting in the work when nobody was looking. I had been talking about being ready. I had been thinking about being ready. I had been hoping I'd be ready when the time came. But I hadn't been training like the game was tomorrow. Let me tell you something. When that moment came, I stumbled. I hesitated. I second-guessed every word coming out of my mouth, because you can't fake readiness. You can't manufacture it in the moment. You either built it in private or you didn't. And that moment didn't create me. It revealed me. And what it revealed was that I had been lying to myself about how serious I really was. Now, let me tell you what your real problem is. And I am not going to sugarcoat this, because you don't need me to be nice. You need me to be honest. Your problem is not that you are unready. Your problem is that you are undisciplined. You don't got a readiness problem. You got a standards problem. And the standards you are holding yourself to when nobody's watching are so low, so weak, so full of excuses that when the moment finally comes, you got nothing to pull from. You want the door to open. You pray for the door to open. You visualize yourself walking through that door with confidence and power. But you are not building the person who can actually walk through it. You are waiting to figure it out when you get there. But let me tell you the truth that nobody wants to hear. You don't figure it out in the moment. You get exposed in the moment. The moment is not your teacher. The moment is your test. And if you didn't study, if you didn't put in the reps, if you didn't show up every single day and practice the thing you were going to need when the lights come on, then the moment is going to drag you. It is going to embarrass you. It is going to remind you that hope is not a strategy and wishes don't build skill. You want to know why you keep panicking when opportunity shows up? Because your brain under pressure can't think its way out of anything. It defaults. It goes back to whatever you practice the most. And if what you practice the most is making excuses, hitting the snooze button, scrolling on your phone instead of sharpening your skills, then that is exactly what is going to come out when the pressure is on. Your nervous system doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about what you've trained it to do. And if you've been training it to take the easy route, to procrastinate, to wait until you feel like it, then that is the version of you that is going to show up when it matters. You don't rise in the moment, you reveal in the moment. And what you reveal is the sum total of every private decision you made when nobody was watching, when nobody was holding you accountable, when it was just you and your standards. And right now, if we're being honest, Your standards are trash. I am not saying that to hurt you. I am saying that because it is true. And the truth is the only thing that is going to set you free. So here's what you are going to do, starting today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel motivated again. Today, every single day, 15 minutes, no excuses, no negotiations. You are going to do what I call the daily dress rehearsal. You are going to practice the exact skill you are going to need when opportunity knocks. If you want to pitch your business, you are going to record yourself pitching to a camera every single day. If you want to lead a team, you are going to practice making decisions out loud, talking through problems like you are already the person in charge. If you want respect, you are going to practice showing up like you already earned it. How you dress, how you speak, how you carry yourself 15 minutes. That is it, but it is non-negotiable. Before you earn comfort, you earn skill. Before you get to relax, you get to build. And if you skip it, if you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, then you need to understand something. You just told yourself that your dream doesn't matter, that your future doesn't matter, that you are okay staying exactly where you are. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in real life. You wake up tomorrow morning, you are tired. You got a million things to do. Your phone is buzzing with notifications. Your mind is already racing about everything you got to handle today. And in that moment, you got a choice. You can roll over, check your phone, start reacting to everybody else's agenda. Or you can get up, grab your phone, hit record, and spend 15 minutes practicing your pitch, your presentation, your leadership voice, whatever it is you are going to need when the door opens. Most people choose comfort. Most people choose the path of least resistance, but you are not most people anymore because you are starting to understand that private discipline creates public performance. And the person you are when nobody's watching is the person you become when everybody's watching. You don't get to be two different people. You are either disciplined or you are not. You are either serious or you are not. And the proof is not in what you say. It is in what you do when it is hard, when it is early, when it is uncomfortable, when nobody's clapping for you yet. When you start doing this, when you commit to the daily dress rehearsal and you show up every single day, you become someone different. You stop being the person who hopes to be ready and you become the person who trains like the game is tomorrow. Because it is. Because opportunity doesn't send you a schedule. It just shows up. And when it does, you are either ready or you are not. You become someone who doesn't wait for permission, who doesn't need external motivation, who doesn't need the moment to feel right before you move. You become someone who understands that readiness is not a feeling. It is a habit. It is a daily commitment. It is a standard you hold yourself to when it would be easier to let yourself off the hook. You become someone who knows that opportunity don't wait. It don't pause. It don't give you a second chance. It walks past you and it finds somebody who's already standing at the door, somebody who put in the reps, somebody who trained in private so they could perform in public. So here's my challenge to you. And I need you to hear me on this today. Right now, before you do anything else, commit to your 15 minutes. Don't think about it. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't tell yourself you'll start on Monday. Do it today. Record yourself, practice out loud, train like the opportunity is coming tomorrow. Because for all you know, it is. Stop lying to yourself about being ready when the time comes. Because the time is already here, and you are either prepared or you are not. You owe it to you, not to me, not to your family, not to anybody else. You owe it to the version of yourself that has been waiting for you to get serious, waiting for you to stop talking and start training, waiting for you to become the person who doesn't need the moment to make them, because they already made themselves. Now, go. Let me ask you something real quick. And I need you to be honest with yourself right now. Do you end every single day exhausted, drained, feeling like you ran a marathon? But when you look back at what you actually accomplished, when you really sit down and ask yourself, did I get better today? Did I build something that matters today? The answer is no. You are tired, but you didn't grow. You are busy, but you didn't build. You are moving, but you are not progressing. And you think it is because you are not working hard enough. You think it is because you need to do more. But that is not the problem. And by the time I am done breaking this down, you are going to realize that the reason you are stuck has nothing to do with effort and everything to do with where you are putting that effort. Stay with me. I'll never forget this season in my life where I was grinding every single day. I am talking 16, 17 whore days, back-to-back meetings, emails flying in from every direction, phone calls stacked on top of phone calls. And I am telling everybody around me, man, I am working. I am putting in the time. I am doing everything I am supposed to do. And on the outside, it looked like I was crushing it. It looked like I was on my way to something big. But when I sat down at the end of the month and I looked at the numbers, when I looked at the actual skills I had developed, the actual progress I had made toward my goals, I realized I had been lying to myself the entire time. I wasn't working on my craft. I wasn't sharpening my skills. I wasn't doing the thing that was actually going to make me dangerous in my field. I was just busy. I was just responding. I was just reacting to whatever came my way. And all that activity, all that exhaustion, all that grind was just noise disguised as progress. I was filling my day with things that made me feel productive but didn't make me powerful. And the scariest part, I didn't even realize it until I had wasted months of my life that I can never get back running in circles and calling it a marathon. So let me tell you what is really going on. And this is the part where you got to stop lying to yourself and face the truth. You are busy because you are avoiding the real work. Most of your day, if we're being honest, is distraction dressed up as productivity. And you know this already. You know you are spending hours answering emails that don't move the needle, sitting in meetings that could have been a text message, scrolling through research and calling it learning, when really you are just procrastinating. And the reason you keep doing this, the reason you keep filling your calendar with noise, is because the real work is uncomfortable. The real work is hard. The real work exposes where you are weak, where you are lacking, where you still got work to do, and your brain would rather feel busy than feel inadequate. Busy is a drug, and you are addicted to it, because busy gives you permission to say, I am trying, I am working, I am doing my best. But mastery is pain. Mastery is sitting down every single day and doing the thing you suck at until you don't suck at it anymore. Mastery is repetition, isolation, focused discomfort on the one skill that is actually going to make you different. And you don't want to do that. So instead you stay busy, you stay distracted, you stay in motion without ever moving forward. Here is what is happening in your brain. And this is why you keep falling to the same pattern over and over again. Your brain rewards activity, not results. So every time you check off a task, every time you respond to an email, every time you finish something that feels like work, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel accomplished, even though you didn't actually build anything that matters. You are confusing effort with progress, and effort without direction is just exhaustion with a story. Meanwhile, the people who are actually winning, the people who are actually becoming dangerous in their field, they're ignoring that dopamine hit. They're saying no to the busy work. They're blocking out time every single day for deliberate, uncomfortable repetition of the one thing that is going to separate them from everybody else. And that is the difference between you and them. They're building capacity while you are managing tasks. You are not tired because you are working hard. You are tired because you are working on the wrong things. You are not tired. You are untrained. So here's what you are going to do, and I need you to lock into this, because this is the only thing that is going to save you from wasting another year of your life. Starting today, you are implementing what I call the 1 power hour rule. And it is non-negotiable. It is not optional. It is not something you do when you feel like. It is the standard. Every single day, before you check your email, before you open Slack, before you respond to anybody, before you do anything else, you dedicate 1 uninterrupted hour to the singular skill that is going to define your success. Not admin work, not meetings, not content consumption, not research, pure skill repetition. If you are a writer, you write. If you are a speaker, you practice speaking. If you are a leader, you practice making decisions under pressure. If you are building a business, you work on your pitch, your product, your strategy, the thing that actually matters. 1 hour uninterrupted, no distractions. And if you skip it, if you tell yourself, I'll do it later, or I'll do it tomorrow, or I'm too busy today, then you need to understand something. That day doesn't count. That day was a waste. because you spend it being busy instead of being built. And at the end of your life, nobody's gonna care how many emails you answered. They're gonna care about what you created, what you mastered, what you became. Let me show you what this looks like in real life so you can see it clearly. You wake up tomorrow morning, you got your coffee, you sit down at your desk, your inbox has 47 unread emails, your phone is buzzing with notifications, your team is already asking you questions, and your brain is telling you handle this first, respond to this, put out this fire, and then you'll get to the real work later. But here's what you do instead. You close the inbox, you put your phone on airplane mode, you set a timer for 60 minutes, and you open the document, the recording software, the training program, whatever it is that represents your 1 power hour, and you lock in. No distractions, no multitasking. Just you and the skill you are trying to master. And yeah, it is gonna feel uncomfortable. It is gonna feel like you are ignoring urgent things. It is gonna feel like the world is moving without you. But that discomfort is the price of mastery. And if you are not willing to pay it, then stop telling people you want to be great, because great people protect their power hour like it is oxygen. They don't negotiate with it. They don't skip it. They don't let anything interfere with it, because they understand that this is where the real work happens. This is where growth happens. This is where you stop being busy and start being dangerous. When you commit to this, when you lock into your 1 power hour every single day and you refuse to let anything else take priority, you become someone completely different. You stop being the person who confuses motion with progress, and you become the person who measures their day by capability gain, not hours logged. You stop chasing the feeling of being productive and you start demanding proof of evolution. Can you do something today that you couldn't do last week? Can you execute at a higher level? Can you perform under pressure in a way that separates you from everybody else? That is the only question that matters. You become someone who understands that busy is a lie, that effort without focus is just noise, that the world doesn't reward how hard you worked. It rewards what you built. And if you didn't build your skill, if you didn't sharpen your blade, if you didn't invest in the thing that makes you irreplaceable, then you didn't really work. You just stayed distracted. You become someone who knows that every single day is either building you or wasting you, and there is no in between. And the people who win are the ones who make the hard choice to prioritize mastery over comfort, growth over motion, power over busyness. So here's what I need you to do right now. And I am not asking you, I am telling you, before this day is over, you are gonna block out your 1 power hour for tomorrow morning. You are gonna put it on your calendar. You are gonna protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future depends on it. Your dream depends on it. And if you keep letting the noise take priority, if you keep letting busy work steal your focus, then you are the reason your dream is delayed. You are the reason you are stuck. You are the reason you are exhausted, but not evolving. Stop lying to yourself. Stop hiding behind busy. Start building 1 hour every day. No excuses. That is the standard. Now go. You've been stuck in the same place for how long now? 6 months, a year, longer. And every time somebody asks you why you haven't moved yet, why you haven't started that business, why you haven't made that pivot, why you haven't gone after that opportunity, you got the same answer ready. I am just waiting to see what happens. I am waiting for things to get clearer. I am waiting until I know it is the right move. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable. That sounds smart. That sounds like you are being cautious and strategic. But let me tell you something. You already know deep down, but don't want to admit. You are not waiting for clarity. You are waiting for a guarantee that is never coming. And the real reason you are still stuck is not because you don't know what to do. It is because you are scared to commit to anything without knowing for sure that it is going to work out. And by the time I am done with this, you are going to see that fear for what it really is. The thing that has been stealing your future while you called it wisdom. I remember sitting in my car one night, years ago, parked outside my apartment, staring at my phone, looking at an opportunity that had just landed in my lap. Something that could have changed everything for me, but it required me to leave my job. It required me to move to a different city. It required me to bet on myself in a way I had never done before. And I sat there for hours, literally hours, Going back and forth in my head, making lists of pros and cons, trying to predict every possible outcome, trying to figure out if this was the right decision. And you know what I realized sitting there in that car? I wasn't analyzing the opportunity. I was looking for permission to stay comfortable. I was looking for some sign from the universe, some confirmation that if I took the leap, everything would work out perfectly. And the longer I sat there, the more I realized that sign was never coming. That clarity was never coming. That certainty was never coming. Because life doesn't work like that. And the only thing I was doing by waiting was guaranteeing that I stay exactly where I was. Frustrated, stuck watching other people take the risks I was too scared to take. I didn't need more information, I needed courage. And the fact that I was calling it waiting for clarity was just a professional sounding way of saying I was terrified to move without a safety net. So let me tell you what your real problem is. And I am going to say this as clearly as I can, because this is the one that is going to hurt the most. You are not confused. You are comfortable. Waiting for certainty is just fear with a better marketing strategy. And you've been using that excuse so long that you actually believe it now. You actually think you are being responsible. You actually think you are being wise. But the truth is you are just stalling. You are just avoiding the discomfort of building something before you are guaranteed it. It is going to pay off. You want success, but you are allergic to sacrifice. You want the result, but you refuse to risk anything to get it. You want the door to open, but you won't step toward it until you know exactly what is on the other side. And let me tell you something. That is not how this works. That is not how any of this works. Because clarity don't come before the move. Clarity comes after you move. Clarity comes after you commit. Clarity comes after you put yourself in a position where you have no choice but to figure it out. The people who stay ready, the people who are actually winning, they don't have a crystal ball. They don't know what is coming any more than you do, but they build transferable strength. They build skills that work in any scenario. They condition themselves to adapt to chaos. And when the curveball comes, and it will come, they don't freeze up looking for instructions. They swing because they built the muscle to handle uncertainty. And you are over here waiting for the pitch to slow down, waiting for the game to get easier, waiting for life to give you a roadmap before you take the first step. Here's what is happening in your brain. And this is why you keep falling into the same trap. Your brain hates uncertainty. It is wired to avoid anything that feels unpredictable or risky. So every time you are faced with a decision that doesn't come with guaranteed outcomes, your brain throws up every excuse it can find to keep you from moving. What if it doesn't work? What if I waste my time? What if I fail? What if people judge me? And instead of recognizing that as fear, you call it caution. You call it being strategic. You call it waiting for the right moment. But all you are really doing is choosing inaction over unclear action. You are choosing the discomfort, over the discomfort. And the problem with that is this. You don't build readiness by thinking about what might happen. You build readiness by training yourself to perform no matter what happens. And every day you wait is another day you are not building that capacity. Another day you are not conditioning yourself to handle the chaos. Another day you are convincing yourself that someday when things are clear, you'll finally be ready to move. So here's what you are going to do. And this is where everything changes if you are willing to lock in. You are going to stop waiting for clarity and you are going to start building capacity. And the way you do that is through what I call the ready for anything protocol. Here's how it works. You pick 3 core competencies, 3 skills that work across every possible scenario you might face. Things like public speaking, decision, making under pressure, physical stamina, emotional resilience, whatever the 3 things are that give you the foundation to adapt to anything. And every single week, not when you feel like it, not when it is convenient, but every single week you train all 3 of those skills, whether you need them right now or not. You practice speaking even if you don't have a presentation schedule. You practice making hard decisions out loud even if nobody's asking you to lead yet. You build your physical and mental endurance even if you are not in a high pressure season right now. Because when the moment comes, and it will come, you are not going to have time to build the tools you need. You either have them or you don't. And if you spent all this time waiting for clarity instead of building capacity, you are going to be standing there empty-handed when the door finally opens. Let me show you what this looks like in real life so you can see exactly how to apply it. You wake up Monday morning and you look at your week ahead, and maybe you don't have anything urgent. Maybe you don't have a big meeting or a pitch or a deadline staring you in the face, and your brain says, I'll focus on skill. Building later when I actually need it. But that is the trap. That is the lie, because later never comes. And by the time you need it, it is too late to build it. So instead, you block out time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 30 minutes each day, and you train your 3 core competencies. Monday, you practice your pitch to a camera, even though nobody asked for it yet. Wednesday, you sit down and make a hard decision about your business, your career, your direction, and you talk through your reasoning out loud like you are already the leader. Friday, you push yourself physically. You run that extra mile. You do that extra set, because when pressure comes, your body and mind need to know they can handle discomfort without breaking. You are not doing this because you know what is coming. You are doing this because you don't know what is coming. And that is exactly why you need to be ready for anything. When you commit to this, when you stop waiting for the perfect plan and start building capacity to adapt to any plan, you become someone fundamentally different. You stop being the person who needs permission, and you start being the person who creates options. You stop being the person who freezes up when uncertainty hits, and you start being the person who moves with confidence even when you don't have all the answers. Because confidence doesn't come from knowing what is going to happen. Confidence comes from knowing you can handle whatever happens. You become someone who understands that uncertainty is not a reason to wait. It is a test to see if you are built different. It is a filter that separates the people who move from the people who stay stuck. And you are done being stuck. You are done waiting for signs. You are done letting fear disguise itself as wisdom. You want the map before you move. But readiness is a muscle you build by moving without one. You don't need clarity. You need courage. You need courage. So here's what I need from you right now. And this is non-negotiable. Before the end of today, you are going to identify your 3 core competencies, the 3 skills that give you the foundation to win in any scenario. And you are going to schedule time this week to train them, not because it is convenient, not because you feel like it, but because you are done waiting for life to get easier and you are ready to make yourself stronger. Stop using uncertainty as an excuse to stay comfortable. Start building capacity. The curveball is coming, and you either got the tools to swing or you don't. Now go build them. You keep telling yourself that when the big moment comes, when the opportunity finally shows up, when the pressure is on and everything's on the line, that is when you are going to show up different. That is when you are going to unlock some version of yourself you haven't seen yet. That is when the adrenaline is going to kick in and you are going to perform at a level you've never performed at before. And I need you to hear me on this. I need you to really lock in right now, because this is the lie that has been keeping you stuck. This is the illusion that has been giving you permission to stay unprepared. And by the time I am done breaking this down, you are going to realize that the moment you've been waiting for is not coming to save you. It is coming to test you. And if you haven't built yourself in private, the moment is going to expose you in public in a way that you are not ready for. Let me take you back to a moment that changed my life forever. I was supposed to speak at this event. Big crowd, high stakes. People I had been trying to impress for years were going to be in that room. And I walked in there thinking, this is it. This is my shot. I am going to rise to the occasion. I am going to deliver something they've never seen before. And I got on that stage. The lights hit me. The crowd went quiet. And I opened my mouth to speak. And nothing came out the way I had imagined it. My mind went blank. My words got tangled. My confidence evaporated, and I stood there in front of all those people, realizing that I wasn't rising to anything. I was falling, I was sinking, I was defaulting to the lowest level of preparation I had put in, and in that moment, it hit me like a freight train. There is no secret. Here, there is no hidden version of yourself that pressure unlocks. There is only the person you built in private. And if you didn't build that person, if you didn't train that person, if you didn't put in the reps when nobody was watching, then when the lights come on, you don't become somebody new. You become who you really are. And who I really was in that moment was unprepared, undisciplined, and hoping that the moment would do for me what I refused to do for myself. So let me tell you the brutal truth that nobody wants to hear. The truth that is going to wreck you, but also set you free. If you are willing to face it, you don't rise under pressure. You get revealed under pressure. When the stakes are high, when the moment is here, when everybody's watching and there is no room for error, you don't unlock new abilities. You don't access some magical version of yourself. You default to your most practiced behaviors, to the habits you've built, to the standards you've held yourself to when it didn't matter. And if those standards were low, if those habits were weak, if you've been skating by on potential and hope instead of discipline and preparation, then the moment is going to drag you. It is going to expose the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are. And that gap, let me tell you, is wider than you want to admit. You are secretly hoping you are better than your habits suggest. You are gambling on a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. You are banking on adrenaline to do the work that discipline was supposed to do. But hope is not a strategy. Wishing is not training. And the moment you've been praying for is not coming to create you. It is coming to reveal you.